It is that time of the month. It is time for our new emblem hero who is going to be joining Ike and Marth. And how powerful are they going to be? Let's just jump in and see. Oh, it's Celica! I don't know why I didn't guess Celica. Huh, Blue Mage Infantry Celica. For some reason I was betting on Lyn or Sigurd. But I did not imagine Celica for some reason. That makes more sense though. Okay, let's start at the top with her preference weapon, Carrying Magic. Okay, so essentially what this does is you get Slaying, and then if she initiates combat, or if she's within 2 spaces of an ally, she'll get attacking speed plus 6 during combat. She'll also get an additional bonus to her attacking speed based off 20% of her visible speed at start of combat. She'll get 20% true damage based off of her speed, but does not work with AoEs. She gets a dull or low speed res effect. She gets a special cooldown account -1 effect before her first follow-up attack during combat, so a special jump effect essentially. And then also when she initiates combat, she'll get a desperation effect as well. Okay, so we have Warp Ragnarok. This boosts damage by 25% of her attack. She can also has a pass effect, so she can move through foe spaces. She also gets this effect where for each foe within 6 spaces of herself, she can warp to within 2 spaces of them. So kind of like how Hell can warp to the nearest space, but hers is 2 spaces because she's a ranged unit, right? So obviously she doesn't want to be in melee range with them. But she gets absolutely ridiculous warping, and it is to foes too, so that means that she's gonna go pretty far along the map. And then last she gets a Times Pulse effect as well tied to her special, so she can do some really good special charging with that and her special effect in her weapon. She also has Verge of Death, which is very nice to be our second unit who has it other than Fallen Ursula. Okay, then we have a new tier 4 B skill, Resonance 4, and this will essentially deal damage to Celica herself, which is equal to 20% of X, where X is her max HP before entering combat, -20. And this will not count anything like legendary buffs, mythic buffs, or bonus hero buffs. And it will never kill her, so it will never take her down to 0 HP, but it can bring her down to 1. It's I think this is a callback to Echo's magic, the fact that it takes HP to actually use it. She also gets to inflict speed and res -4 on the foe during combat, and she'll get additional true damage based off her HP at start of combat minus her current HP ×2, a max of 12 true damage there. And then she'll also get damage reduction piercing based off X%, where once again it's her HP at start of combat minus her current HP ×10 for a max of 60% damage reduction piercing, a minimum of 30. Once again, this doesn't work with AoEs though. So this tier 4 B skill, essentially what it's going to be doing is it's going to be giving you some stats, it's going to be giving you some true damage, and it's going to be giving you some damage reduction piercing as well. The cool thing is the HP condition. We'll have to see how this actually works in practice, but it can activate HP effects you need, so stuff like Wings of Mercy possibly. This doesn't seem like it does enough damage to get you in Wings of Mercy range easily, but could be a condition that we could look into. So this is an interesting B skill, but I'm not exactly sure how well it's going to work on other units, but we'll have to see. But then we have the very, very big thing, the biggest, most important thing, the Emblem Ring itself. And so what this essentially does is you have Enhanced Engage Special. You get special damage boosted by your max special cooldown count value ×4. So let's say you have a 5 cooldown special, you get 20 true damage off that. That's a ton of true damage. Now typically you're probably not going to be doing that big of a special, and you have to remember it will probably count Slaying as well. So if you have a 2 cooldown special, but you have Slaying, it's actually only a 1 cooldown special, so you'll only be getting 4 true damage. What this essentially does is just boost damage on big specials. A 2 cooldown special with Slaying, it's really not doing all that much because you're only getting 4 true damage there. It's not even 4, you're only getting 4 damage there, but on bigger specials, if you have ways to accelerate into them, let's say special jump of the Robins or Dual Ike or something like that, then you can get quite a bit of damage off this. You can easily get 12 or 16 or something like that, which is pretty nice. But the really crazy effect is the second part, where you can essentially get warping for that unit. So for each foe within 5 spaces of unit, you can now move to the nearest spaces that are within that unit's range from that foe. Unless there's impassable terrain, of course. The difference, of course, being that Celica gets a little bit more range with her weapon. While this only gives 5 spaces instead of 6, 5 spaces is quite a lot. The other major thing is this doesn't seem to have a pass effect like Celica herself does, so this will be shut down by warping as well, most likely. Okay, so when it comes to roles, what does Celica really want to do? She is a nuke. That's her main role. Everything she really is doing is nuking. She's going to be a very high mobility nuke, just like she was in Engage, so that's not much of a surprise there. And when it comes to game modes, I think Celica is going to probably show up in quite a few of them. She's going to be really good on Ether Aid's defense, as that warping is just absolutely ridiculous, meaning that a lot of times she's going to be able to get past those Omni tanks, or just anything else like that, and just completely nuke something in the back line. And because she has pass, she'll be able to get past things like Gatekeeper or even Myr, which means that she can just nuke those things in the back line, which is really scary. The other thing, of course, is that she'll be really good in summoner duels. Like, any type of warping usually is pretty good there. Even with things like Valentine's Myrrh running around, like, just being able to warp is insane. So having crazy mobility not only allows you to have insane openings, it allows you to trade really effectively and get a ton of damage in. So, I mean, this looks really, really powerful there as well. Now, when it comes to the actual power of the Emblem Ring itself, I do think this is a pretty powerful Emblem Ring. I'm not sure if it's on the same power as like something as Marth's Emblem Ring. I think Marth's Emblem Ring is just so universal that it's kind of hard to beat because it's really good on like almost every single unit in the game. So that is something to consider. It probably is going to be better than Ike's Emblem Ring itself, as Ike's Emblem Ring is pretty solid, but it doesn't like do an effect for everybody needs. It's much more for tanks. This ring is going to be just good, right? Like any unit who is using their special to deal damage, they're going to get a bit more damage off this. And warping is always really, really nice on any unit type. So that's also something really, really cool. And the fact that it's not limited to any type of like movement type or anything like that, this means that any unit can get warping, which is kind of scary because it can allow for like all kinds of unique shenanigans on either its defense or on summoner duels as well. So okay, let's start off by talking about blue. Blue is by far the best color on this banner. It's not even close, and we have one of the best shares we've had in a very long time. Not only do we have the new Emblem Hero, which has like absolute value, right? Emblem Rings are insane. We have 2 attuned units as well, and both of these attuned units are amazing. We have Ivy on one hand, who's a powerful like mobile nuke in SD. She has amazing fodder. She has Soaring Echo, which is like extremely valuable on a ton of flying units, and she can skill duplicate, so this is just like a giant win there. On the other hand, we have Sheeta, who also can skill duplicate, but she is the Omni Tank version, right? This is like where you're going over to get all your Omni Tank fodder and getting the Guard Echo as well. Like, blue is absolutely insane share. Now, the one thing, of course, is like you're not getting any kind of like score boost for Arena or for like Ether Raids, but even so, like this is so much value for an account because you can start duplicating the skills, and even if you don't have skills to really duplicate, their skills themselves are very, very good as well, and you're getting a chance at Emblem Hero, so like blue is just a massive, massive win. In second place, I am going to have red, but red is like pretty far down. Like red is a decent share. We have Emblem here, who is a very solid Dark Mythic. She's really good at just turning off saves and like supports. So like she's really good at like damaging Omni Tanks currently, and she's pretty good on like cav lines. The bad thing is you really don't need merges on her, and her fodder isn't all that great. And then we also have Veronica and Inoka, who are both solid nukers. They're very good, but they're not like top tier nukes anymore. Like they're definitely fallen off a little bit, and their fodder isn't all that great either. And so like when it comes to like the difference between blue and red, blue is massively more valuable, so that's something you should consider. After that, we're going to have green. Green, we have Merrick and Rosado, who are both pretty solid units. Rosado has some extremely nice fodder for like those melee flyers who have like good speed and defense. Like Rosado's just insane there, so like getting to take any fodder off of him is gonna be really, really good. And then over there we have Merrick, who is a solid ranged nuke. He does have like some okay fodder with like Insight, but the major thing you're getting here is a Floret, which is really nice. And then lastly, we have like the complete dud of the red green group, which has to be Xander. There's nothing else to say. It's Xander. He's bad. Like, let's just move on. Okay, and then last place we're gonna have Colorless. Now, Colorless isn't like a terrible pool, but it's not great either. Femortis is definitely an older Anima Mythic now. He does fulfill the very necessary role of his save unit, which is nice, but he isn't like a top tier save by any means nowadays. And on the other hand, we have Goto, who does help you with scoring in light season, and he does offer AoE damage reduction, which is pretty relevant currently, due to that being one of the ways you take out like Emblem Ike, so that means he works pretty well there. And then we have Medius. Medius just really has fallen off since Catcher Balls have fallen off. You really don't have teams that can like shield that far back, and so Unguard isn't that great anymore, even though it is a cool effect, and Cancel Control is really nice fodder though, so if you need Cancel Control, picking up Medius isn't too bad. So when it comes to the overall banner, I would highly recommend, blue should be your focus if you are pulling on this banner. Okay, let's move on to the Emblem Ring tier list. I think when it comes to this, like the top ring still is Marth. I think that's the best ring in the game currently. It's just like so versatile, like I was mentioning earlier. It can go on everybody almost, and it makes them all better. So that's definitely be the best ring in my opinion. Underneath that, we're going to have Celica's ring in S tier. I think Celica's ring is very good, but the thing is it doesn't have pass, right? And so because it doesn't have pass, like Celica herself does, it will get shut down like by any other warping shenanigans we've seen in the current meta, like Myrrh, right? That's like pretty much the main one we're seeing. But I do think it is better than Ike's Emblem Ring. Ike's Emblem Ring is solid overall for tanks, but it really is only for like tanks who want to be fighting in ranged combat. And so I think it is a little bit more niche compared to those two. When it comes to the actual Emblem Heroes themselves, I still think Ike is probably the best Emblem Hero in the game. He's just by far like the most insane tank we've ever had, and he just completely breaks the game in a lot of ways, which is probably not good, but it is Ike, so I'm going to kind of like give him a pass. Under that, I'm going to have Celica. I think Celica is going to be a very, very powerful nuke. The fact that she has such high mobility and she has pass, most importantly. Crazy to say this, that pass is such a relevant skill right now, but having pass just allows her to do so much against the enemy team on defense and SD. I think she's going to be a very, very powerful unit. We'll have to see how good her nuking really is, but I think it's going to be pretty solid. And then all the way down in B tier, we're going to have Marth. Marth is a very good melee nuke. The thing is just the meta doesn't have any room for melee nukes, especially infantry melee nukes right now. So I think as an emblem hero himself, like actually as a hero, I don't think Marth is all that valuable, unfortunately. So I'm going to have him down in B tier. Okay, let's move on to the final part of the video, should you pull? Okay, so when it comes to should you pull, some of the pros we have an amazing blue share with absolutely insane units. You have a very powerful new emblem hero with like some great nuking capability and mobility support. We also have Emblem Ring with insane mobility as well, and offering a little bit of damage to your specials. And the blue share is just absolutely insane. I really don't want to undersell it. It's so very, very good. So if you're like looking for that, if you have Fay Pass, that is a big reason to pull. Now, when it comes to cons, all the other shares are okay. They are just not that great of shares. They definitely have some decent units there and some okay fodder, but nothing insane. And so if you aren't looking for the blue, if you don't want to pull on blue, if you're not looking for that emblem hero, I would really recommend not pulling on this banner because everything else is just kind of meh. And other things you have to consider, of course, is that we do have a summer banner currently running. We're going to have another summer banner coming pretty soon. And so you definitely want to save some ores possibly for that. And then lastly, and like the biggest thing I've been talking about for months now, is that Choose Your Legends is coming soon. And Choose Your Legends typically is like a big spot of the year. We get 4 sparks, so you're definitely going to want some orbs for that as well. So my overall opinion is probably to pull if you have Fay Pass because you can guarantee the Emblem Ring. If you do not, wait, definitely wait, see what else is coming and save some orbs for that because you're probably going to want some orbs there. Of course, if these are one of your favorite heroes, definitely pull, always pull for favorites. But with that said, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this banner? What do you think of Emblem Celica? What do you think of Emblem Celica's ring? Do you think this is a game changer? Is this like the reignition of warping in the meta? Or is this going to like kind of just stay the same as it was because Mer still exists? I'd love to hear your opinion, so drop a comment down below. As always, I'd like to thank all my members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch you all later with more Fire Emblem Heroes.